All right, we got a live feed telling me to rotate my device. You know, I don't believe this. I had this thing rotated. I had this set up for widescreen, and it's not letting me do it. Okay, well, anyway, welcome everybody to Punish for Protecting, a Facebook Live broadcast right now. Very casual today, Saturday. I'm doing this live right now to prepare us for what we're doing. Now, you guys, listen, January 3rd, this is the third year right now, and if those don't understand what that is, if you're newly following, I started the first initial January 3rd Citizens Arrest Day 2 years ago. What that actually was, it actually went global, was to arrest the economy, to raise public awareness. But what we're doing now is we're actually going directly after all the bad actors, okay? We're not taking this anymore. As you guys have seen, if you haven't noticed, New York State, and this covers every single state in the country, so please pay attention. I'm not just looking at New York State, but what this is doing, what's been happening is rights have been violated all over the place. I don't have to go into all the, like some people like to go into the specific laws and certain things. I don't necessarily do that because I try to give my information out there so that everybody can comprehend what's happening to you and what's happening to your neighbors. And so what I do is I give it in as easy language as possible, and then we can confirm it with the so-called laws and so on. But what people have to understand is that we, the people, are the rightful heir of everything. We are the rightful heir. We are the boss over Congress. We, the people, are the highest court that there is. We, the people, are in charge. And somehow they managed to flip this. And in the process of our sleeping, and in the process of them flipping the script, so to speak, they managed to just to infiltrate and take over and abuse. And the abuse has gotten off the charts. And we have very, I've been out here for doing this through social media for the past almost 3 years now. But I've been advocating for families for 12 years, over 12 years. And, we have made literally groundbreaking, just forerunning information and breakthroughs, which has been good, but it's not great. And so this is why we're pulling in all the people so that you guys can let me push that down there, so that you guys can participate in what we're doing. Okay, now right now I'm spotlighting New York, okay? But there was, a couple of years ago, there was great attention where I continue to go down to West Virginia, I continue to go down to Ohio, and I what do you call it? And I did many live broadcasts and TV broadcasts, which drew massive attention to the state of West Virginia, and other people were coming through advocating, getting attention, and then 5 Supreme Court judges were arrested or were removed from their seats, and so it takes a lot. Excuse me. It takes a lot to get public awareness raised. It takes a lot to make things change. It takes a lot to get us to where we are today. There are certain groups that are out there. There are certain groups that I do not get involved with because I know what's happening kind of like behind the scenes. There are people that infiltrated this so-called movement because they know what we're doing. And sometimes I have to learn myself who's who in the zoo, so to speak. Very few do I actually link with. There are certain people that are moving and shaking things and happen, where you'll see that I'll work with those people. I try to be very careful. I don't always discover that somebody is not really for what we're doing. They kind of jump on and they see how far we're making things happen. And so they slither their way in, and sometimes we have to chop the head off of those snakes. Excuse me. Come here, Wesley. I have a dog that's getting a little bit acting like a kid here. So that does happen sometimes, but that doesn't stop our momentum. So right now I'm going to ask anybody, just to go ahead and share this video right now, so we can, we can bring out, I can talk about what we're doing tomorrow and how this is nationwide. So the third annual Citizens Arrest Day, which is happening right now, even though today is the 4th, this is very serious, okay? And it's very serious because this is the one where we are going to be arresting the actual fake judges, and that is what they are. They are fake judges. They are administrators. If you haven't gotten that memo yet, it is important that you understand, what's happening. If you think this is something that's not or can't be happening to you, hi Evelyn, I see you on. My dog, sorry. If you think it can't be happening to you, I don't know why he's doing this. Are you okay? If you think it can't happen to you, you're sadly mistaken. And I'm not telling this to you so that I can be teaching you, doom and gloom. That's not my goal, okay? My goal is to see families in our country treated with the respect that we deserve, the respect that belongs to us. And you have to understand that really what you're fighting for is your unalienable rights, your unalienable rights given by God, okay, that make you the boss, make you subdue this earth. And things have gotten, it's amazing to me when I see what I see in the course of a week, in the course of a day, while I'm family court watching these judicial tyrants. I posted a few things a little bit ago about this they're calling it judge court. And if you read the articles, it's very upsetting because they admit that judges make mistakes. Well, they don't have the right to make mistakes with your family. It is quite alarming that they're practicing their craft, so to speak, on you and me, and that they're getting it wrong more than they're getting it right. But the most important thing, and the thing that you all have to understand, and that's the most important here, these are not courts. These were never voted in by the people. They're not real courts. They weren't voted in. And that is the reason why judicial immunity, if the court itself has never been voted in by the people, which is us, which we are the rightful heir, we are the boss over these people, then judicial immunity is not a real thing either. Okay, now common sense tells you that immunity is a very bad thing, right? I talked about it before the New York State Assembly, that it was a get out of administrators, judges. However, what this means to the people is that they can do anything they want in their so-called robe, and many of them don't wear a robe, and is okay. Nothing you can do with it. And then they have the audacity to add insult to injury, salt to your wound, if you will. What they do at that point is they tell you that, well, you're just disgruntled, or you don't like the way the outcome came, and they poo-poo it off like it's nothing. Okay, but listen, let me explain. To your like I said, you would win kick-ass. Okay, you'd win exorbitant amounts of money. You'd win, so much from the injury alone. And you'll notice that injury lawyers don't take family court damaged cases. Okay, because now that is an aspect of discrimination. So again, I'm speaking in a very basic language. Okay, and any attorney that would listen to me and actually have the respect to listen to what I have to say, you would not argue with what I'm saying. So there's so many aspects. Okay, I'm sorry about that. They like to play with, they like to mess with numbers and things like that, and that's okay. We're going to get this point across today. And I'm going to try to give you everything that I need to give you guys, and that you'd please share this video, invite your friends list, and get involved, okay? Because I've had so many people write me saying I want to, and I'm not ignoring you. I'm just inundated, and I'm trying to do this to a broad audience. And like I said, I'm going to wait for people to join back on again here. Let me high five everybody. I'm going to wait for you guys to join back in since the internet decided to just go off for no reason when I have full blast 5G. I've got the best internet you could possibly think of, business internet. There's no reason for that to have happened. They interfere with everything. Okay, So thank you guys for hanging out there. Like when it does this, I'd ask you to please kind of wait. Please just wait so I can finish what I'm saying and you don't miss anything. All right, so let me just, so we already know that there is just exorbitant amounts of violations done to families. We have proven, and here's what annoys me too. We have proven that this is attached to the child trafficking industry. Recently on a Yahoo Mail, I saw a post saying conspiracy theorists tie in by the FBI to Anon, Donald Trump, theorists. That is very, I told them off, of course. Here we go again where they degrade you. They call you a conspiracy theorist. No, there's no theory in this. Okay, this isn't a theory. Let me make this perfectly clear. This is not a conspiracy theory, okay? This is absolute truth. There is a definite and definitive. Okay, so there is I've proven that with their own statistics through Department of Social Services. I've proven it through the senator's bill, okay, on child trafficking. I've proven this. Others have proven this. I'm not the only one. We've proven that the gateway door to child trafficking is through the family court. Listen, you're going to start seeing a lot of propaganda. You're going to see a lot of new media because right now they know that they've got egg on their faces. And the bottom line is that they're going to say, they found these child traffickers here and there and everywhere. And yes, they have, because they're the ones that initiated the trafficking in the first place. Listen, God created us to be able to protect. And so in doing so, when this vile system got involved, okay, at that point in time, children were left now unsafe, and protective mothers and fathers, okay, were left restrained from protecting their children. I lived that nightmare for almost 8 months myself, okay? And that's why I wrote a book about it. I can tell you the story over and over again in full detail accuracy, the truth of the matter, okay? Others have. I've lived it with others. I've watched it. I've witnessed it. I've been inside these courtrooms, fake courtrooms, repeatedly, and so on and so forth. I know the stories. I know the families. I know what's happened to them. I know what's happened to the children. I know the abuse that they endure and the suffrage, okay? When a person has issues, they don't do things to make that parent, get the help they need for those issues so they can become a better parent. They endanger the welfare of the children in order to be able to take the children and eventually place them for foster care. Now, we're talking about, I'm going to get a little bit into the Family First Act and so on, and what they're doing with that. And I posted that there's $550 million already for the Family First Act. This is just more money being funneled. So basically what you're seeing here is you're seeing it gift wrapped in a different gift wrapping to appease you. And I need you guys to wake up and realize what's happening. And if you don't understand, please get informed. It is important that you get informed. Okay, it is highly important for the sake of your families that you get informed. I happen to live in the state of New York. I happen to believe that you have the right to have homes in every state if you want to, not just one state. You have the right to prosper. You have the right to your education. You have the right to not be forced to live in one place. You have the right as a, we still law-abiding. Unfortunately, it's the law-abiding that are the most targeted, okay? Because originally when you go in respectfully thinking that you're dealing with a real court, to find out that you're not, because when something is not voted in by us, the boss, the people, when when this is happening, you're working in a system. When you have bar members with bar cards, you're working in a system that has been a fraud on American soil, perpetrated from day one, which makes it treason and tyranny, which makes it a complete no-no to us, the people, which explains why we see what we've been seeing. Now, victims are coming forward in every state. Victims of all these different administrators that they call family court judges are coming forward. I am seeing this happen in unprecedented numbers. Every time I think I will be overwhelmed. I won't be any more overwhelmed than I am, or inundated with requests than I already am. I get, that on steroids. It just keeps happening. Everybody thinks their case is the worst. Listen, I've been saying this for so long. They're all bad. And I don't say this to, like I said, I'm not saying this to give you a doom and gloom message. I'm saying this because it's time to strike where the iron's hot. And so when people were like, oh, well, like what happened here? What's happened on Citizens Arrest Day this year, on the 3rd, who got arrested? We are working on this right now. And I want to talk about tomorrow's meeting. And while I'm talking about tomorrow's meeting in the state of New York that we're going to physically be at, those of you are going to be able to be a part of our meeting because, hold on one second. I need you to go get him right this minute. Like right this minute, right this very minute. Okay. Don't let him go in there. Okay. So you'll be able to be a part of what we're doing. I was on with the Tank, if you guys got to watch, from Lawful America. They're doing great things. They have access to the funds through the trust and everything. That's a very powerful piece that's happening. I'm willing to work with them. I have not seen the documents yet. I know you guys are asking me around the clock. You didn't go get them. You need to go get them. And I can do this regardless. I am going after them. I am going after the family court judges. I have been telling you this from day one. Those of you that are worried about the vaccinations, forcing them, and some of you already bowed down and let your kids be vaccinated. Listen, my sister is an expert. She's a holistic practitioner, drugless practitioner. She went to the best college for this in the entire globe. It's called integrative. She's been with the best of the best. And I'm going to tell you right now, even though she can reverse, what they call sicknesses that are not reversible, and she can do that. And I've seen her do it through her career, and all the families that are amazed, like stage 4 cancer, completely reversed. This is going to wait. Basically what's happening is, what she says is, don't bow down to them, because yes, she can help you to take this stuff out of your children, detox your kids, but they're never going to be the same again. Okay? And don't listen to the people that are saying, well, what happened to you if you were vaccinated? And listen, like anything, not everybody gets affected the same way. But they are lying to the public, and they have been for years. And I can bring her in and other experts to teach you what these vaccinations are doing. But we're talking about 72 forced vaccinations. Gardasil does not prevent cancer. God did not create you. Okay, listen, I've said this before. My sister has said this. If God wanted to pasteurize milk, he would have put a pasteurization unit on the cow. Okay? God did not create you vaccine deficient, okay? Now, you have to learn about your health. That's why there's clean foods and unclean foods, and I can get into all of this. The difference with how people feel, look, and are, okay? Genetically modified foods. And what these people do, and what aggravates me to the umpteenth degree, what these people do is, instead of having an intelligent, articulated conversation with you, they demean you. They discredit what you're saying. They don't want to hear it, like you're a conspiracy theorist, or like you're ignorant, or they'll just mock you. They'll come up with, just very, that's how they argue, because they can't argue intellectually. They can't argue. They're sheep that are just going to blindly follow because they don't care. And the bottom line comes down to the fact that this is a moneymaker. And, there are interpretations. Hold on one second. It's amazing how many things happen when you're trying to do this. So there are interpretations of even biblical verses that people interpret wrong. I am a full-blown believer. I believe in Yeshua, which is Jesus, and whatever some people say, don't say the name Jesus. Jesus, the letter J wasn't in the back then, and there's just so many different interpretations and so on and so forth. It's a relationship. It's personal. But anyway, there's a reason I'm bringing about this with religion and so on and so forth, is that there's been so much deception out there, that it's really time that I really believe that people should kind of like come out of everything for a while and really try to learn, but ask God to give you like a speed course in it so you can get up to par with where we are today, because I really do believe the media and the infiltration and the programming and even the churches today, or the churches for years, and the things that they've told people, there's so much non-truth that has deceived the masses. I mean, foster care is infiltrated through the churches. It's infiltrated through the churches. So that is a no-no. And if you really had a relationship with Jesus Christ, you'd be convicted of the fact that the foster care system is infiltrated through the churches. See, God is not a God of dirty and clean. He's a God of all clean. Do you know what I'm saying? God is not a God of a little bit of dirt and a little bit of truth. You know, he's not a God of, and even if you're not a Christian, whatever faith you have, you should listen to what I'm saying, because wisdom is far more greater than knowledge. Okay? And God is not a God of just a little bit of wrong and some right, or all right, but maybe a little percentage of wrong. Okay? So you have to, really understand that, I mean, I can give you so many examples of things that I see on a daily, that I physically and I've witnessed inside these courtrooms and in these churches that I knew for years, when I knew that I was supposed to like get out of them and not be programmed, not be deceived. I used it in my speech at the New York Assembly. I said, those who are deceived are the last to know it. So if you're deceived, ask God, please, like, undeceive me. I don't want to walk this earth deceived. I don't want to be deceived. Because if I'm deceived, I'm going to deceive others. And it's not going to help with what we're trying to accomplish here if we don't really know what's going on. Okay, so what they do is they use these big catchphrases: sovereign citizen, conspiracy theorist, that person is crazy, don't listen to them, the Ebola scare. Now there's going to be a big Ebola scare. They're going to say that you need shots for that, which is actually going to inject you with Ebola. Okay, there's been diseases that have been eradicated that they're going to claim for their agenda. They're going to claim that they now exist and now you're going to get it. And then if you go and you take your child, they're going to get that disease. This is control. This is not good. Okay. The Bible talked about this. Nostradamus talked about this. Nostradamus did a lot of biblical research. And he's been found out to be one of the probably most right people. I'm trying to get this, I'm not understanding why this isn't letting me, watch party it, but I am going to read some of your information here, but some of your comments, guys, and I do see you guys, and hello. I need your diet info. I need your energy. Keep all your food organic, and and that's another thing. Organic food. It's just food. It's just food. That's what it is. It's what real food is. It's not a Franken food. Okay. So if it doesn't have like 27,000 ingredients in it, it should have 3 or 4. When you read it, it doesn't have names that you can't read. It's food. And it's really sad. My sister just got back from Mexico, and in Mexico, she said they're way more advanced than we are here. Okay. Health and nutrition wise. It's very sad, to see how duped people are. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you're living on genetically modified foods, if you're, living on all this artificial stuff, if you're living on all that, it's going to affect your brain. Okay. It affects you. It affects everything about you. It ages you faster. If you look in the Himalayas, you're going to see people that are like in their 90s that are exercising, and they're more healthy than the average 20-year-old, and they eat clean. All right. So, I can give you this. That's the simple version. That's that'll help you. So like my sister, she's like 100%. She doesn't deviate from eating properly, eating organic. I have deviated because I have just been pulled in so many directions and sometimes, and I shouldn't. And now that I'm like back on track again, it's amazing because you feel like a million times better. And it's almost like your body is in this place of fasting where you think clearer too. It does change you, and you do feel like you're eating clean. So anyway, aside from the food portion of this, let's talk about tomorrow. So we have to go after these fake administrators that are practicing law from the bench, and they're practicing on your families, and they're intentionally harming your families. And, they're very cunning. They are 20 steps ahead of you when you're in these fake courts, because they're bar members. They're bar members. They hold a bar card. There's no such thing as a licensed attorney. They've lied about so many things, and the people just went with it because we, quote unquote, didn't know better. Okay? We know better now. These are not conspiracy theorists. Like I said, this is not a theory. This is actually what's happened. Okay, and you can research it and we can back it. And you know what's funny? I gave them at the New York State Assembly, I gave them their own stats back to them. Okay, so like I went through the front door and the back door to show them that they're dead wrong and that they've done nothing short of hurting families intentionally over and over and over again. And so what I did is I just give it back to them. And no matter who I talk to, when I'm trying to fix a situation, I'm giving it back to them in their own words many times. Okay, and when you're speaking to these kind of people, you have to kind of go around it a few times from different angles until they understand what they've done to you and your families and your children. This is very dangerous times that we're living in right now. So when you guys ask me, what can I do to help? Watch the lives and we will continue to tell you through the process what to do. Now, I'm waiting on a certain documentation. You can go to lawfulamerica.com. He's got some great stuff in there with regards to vaccines to help you and your families, and he wants everybody to send out to all the schools the letters that are on there. But he was actually going to be supplying us with the actual prosecutions for the judges, which he hasn't yet. And I'm assuming he's just very inundated. I haven't had the chance to talk to him because I've personally been traveling for the past week. I just got back at like 12:45 last night. That's why I'm just like in t-shirt today, you know, just kind of relaxing, still trying to get stuff done. And I want to do this live because tomorrow I will be, for New Yorkers. And like I said, everybody, I'm not just doing New York, my friends. So please, I'm not just a New York advocate. I'm a national advocate. Okay. I'm about taking this down in our country. I say national. Okay. It's very, very disheartening and sad to know that we have all been put through the public school system, so to speak, whether you went to other schools and whatever types of schools you might have gone to, private schools, Montessori schools, whatever, what have you, college, whatever, what have you, the deception that has infiltrated and what we've been told. And that's why I tell people to please think and research yourself so you don't listen to every wind that blows. Okay, so you understand what's happened. This is about your families. This is about the country that we're leaving our children and our children's children, and why this is so important. I, for one, will not accept forced vaccination. I, for one, will not accept forced anything. Because I'm not a criminal. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Majority of people I talk to have not either. Some people have maybe done things wrong in high school. They've done their normal what have you that they shouldn't have to pay for forever. Okay, but I see the damages that are done. And like I said, if we were all to sue together, if we were all to do this together, if we were all to sue together, we would win like quadrillions of dollars for the damages caused to so many people. So tomorrow I'm going to be, I'll take this live tomorrow. A group of people are coming. I've got the New York State Constitution Party has been asking me to help them. And we're working on that right now too. They've been asking me for the past year. To get that like really moving in a specific direction. There are groups right now that are growing in like massive numbers right now that want Governor Cuomo out of here. This man is just psychotic. Okay, but the thing is that for one psychotic judge and one psychotic governor, you know that there's many of the same demon throughout the country doing the same kinds of things. So tomorrow at the Highland Bridgeview, it's on 9W in Highland, Dunkin' Donuts in the Bridgeview Plaza. I will be there tomorrow at 2 p.m. Okay, some of the people I was not able to interview live will be there tomorrow. As you know, you've gotten some of the stories. Like I said, today I had a whole bunch of Mackenzie people, victims of hers. That's the judge that I literally watched give a convicted heroin dealer and user a newborn baby. She gave him full carte blanche access custody to this man. I watched her do it with my mouth hit the freaking floor. These nutcases, okay, that we are allowing to be in charge when they can't even legally be there. They can't even legally be there. And so people go, you know, and I hear it. I still hear people that are so back in yesterday, it blows my mind. Okay, because I think we've made it clear over and over and over. I think we've made it abundantly clear that the family court is a fraud. It was never voted in by the people. The legislation will say that they put it in, but they'll tell you that they can't take it out because they don't have jurisdiction. And in part, they're not lying, even though they're lying, because the system came in, it slithered in without the consent of the people. They usurped our authority. And there are all kinds of laws that I could be pumping out of my mouth right now that you'll never remember, okay? Because that's why I'm giving it to you in very basic terminology. It's very simple. Common sense. They usurped our authority, therefore they have no right to be there. So we've put them on notice in Congress. We've put them on notice now in New York State. We're putting them on notice. I see others that are putting them on notice. I see senators stepping up to the plate that are putting them on notice. Okay, I need your help. I see, advocates right now that I need your help to push this through. So tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we are working on the prosecution, and I ended up coming back yesterday. I was just things happen to go after them. All right. Now let me explain to some people that have been forced. Okay, so I think it's been something like, I forget what it was. I just read it yesterday. It was like 33,000 families left public schools because of the vaccinations in New York. 77,000 families left the state of New York completely because of the diabolical things that are happening through this crazy governor. He is absolutely, you know what? Let me tell you something. I know that Italians are known for the mob, right? The mafia. The family court system is a mafia, okay? And I'm Italian. And there are wonderful Italian people, the most loving, the most generous, and boy, will they feed you, okay? Passionate, loving, Italian, wonderful people. And then there's Governor Como. He is an embarrassment to Italian people. He's an embarrassment. Shame on him. And I've seen a couple of Italian judges lately that are doing this psychotic behavior where they're harming families and children. And I am absolutely just blown away by it. Just blown away. As an Italian, I'm absolutely blown away by it. So, okay, so tomorrow we're going to go over, I've got a lot of amazing people coming tomorrow. You're all welcome. If you're close to Highland, New York, it's in Ulster County, New York. Remember now, New York State ranked number 5 in child trafficking, with the Hudson Valley, where I live, number 1 in the state for child trafficking. And that is given by the Department of Social Services. That's their statistics, okay? And when I put it out to them, I said, you tell me, okay, where these kids are and where they came from. It was the judges from the family court that actually moved them. See, it's the moving. This is the trafficking. Trafficking is moving. When you're trafficking a person, a human being, it's moving. And so we care about our young and we care about our elderly. They're trafficking our young and our elderly, and then in the process, they're trafficking you and me. How are they trafficking you? This sounds bizarre. How? Because they're ordering you and demanding that you go to jail or you follow what we say. Go to jail or follow what we say. This is threat. This is duress. And do you know that all of this is, not only is it not due process under a system that's never been voted in, but do you understand that this is all treason? Like every single aspect of this is treason. Treason. Okay, so it's time to prosecute. So anybody that else wants to join, I have paralegals. I have a couple people that said they were going to help and then they jumped ship. And here's what I want to say to you. If I don't hear back from you, I don't go looking for people. People come to me. If I trusted you enough and then I went to you and then I don't hear back from you, I lose all respect for you. You are not a man or woman of your word. If you heard something from a social media troll about me and you took that over what actually I live and breathe, then I no longer will respect you unless you apologize to me. Okay, and that might be very blunt, but I'm going to put that out there. I've had some people that don't even have the common decency to communicate. I heard something. I'm sorry, I'm busy. I don't respect that, because I've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of families victimized that come to me and are waiting on you so that we can finish what we're doing. Okay, so have respect. This is important, that we have respect for one another and that we do the right thing. Okay, that is like a big no-no with me. That we have to, if you're going to say you're going to do something, then follow through or don't offer it. Okay, because I have families that are waiting. Now, let me talk to you guys about whodoc.info. Because of what's happening with this impeachment thing right now, the month of January is held back, so there's still time to opt in to the immunity, opt-in for the immunity for the arbitration award that was won under Treaty of Peace 2020. So just go to whodoc.info, and if you go to whodoc.info, You can opt into that, and I highly encourage you to do that. But like I've said before, guys, I don't just go for one thing, okay? It is presumptuous to go for just one thing when you're dealing with something like this, because I am the person, and I respect these different groups, and I like I said, these are the groups that I encourage you to follow. And these are the groups, and they're very few and far between, that I kind of present to the audience, and so on and so forth. And I tell you that these are the groups that you want to get involved in, and you want to do certain things. But I'm the person that sees all the abused children every day. I'm the person that is inside these fake courtrooms every day and watch these fake administrators render these fake orders that harm your families. I'm the person that says, listen, yes, do this, and definitely do this, and definitely do this, and don't do that. But don't just do one thing. Do everything. Okay? Do everything you can possibly do to protect your families right now. Okay? Do everything and anything that we're telling you that's safe to do. Do it. Okay? Do it. And a lot of the things that, one of the things like with HUDOC information is that the information is there, and it is important that you learn it for yourself. Now we have the all the stuff with the vaccine. So if you go to lawfulamerica.com, you can protect yourself from your children being vaccinated. My sister's actually watching right now. And, and the bottom line comes down to, if we had the Facebook Lives where we could add people, they managed to take that away from us, I would be having her on here right now. She firmly stands against you guys vaccinating your children. Don't do it under stress and duress. Protect your children. Protect them from it. Okay, and yes, she can detox them and so on, but they're not going to be the same. Okay, so, Tony can verify that. She's in here now. She can comment if you need to, Tony. But, just don't do it. Don't get pushed. Take them out of school and spend extra time with your kids and homeschool them. Since I've been homeschooling my son again, first of all, the court is the one. I have one child that was raised with no issues ever. And then I've had issues with my son because of this crazy court system. A perfect child, issues happened as time went on. And so everything was going smooth until issues with the family court dumb orders that would hurt my son. And now, like that, I pulled him out of school. Now, you have to remember, after this incident took place with my son, I put him in Montessori school. So he'd have one-on-one, and he'd get his grades back up, and so on and so forth. So it's been very hard for me because I've had to work, I'm constantly juggling, having to work overtime to fix somebody else's mess all the time. But with my son, for example, now that I'm back to homeschooling him and I'm teaching him things that the school will never teach him, I am amazed at what this kid doesn't know. So I ask him questions, and I test him on certain things, and we do all the subjects that are quote unquote mandatory, and then I do all kinds of other stuff, and I do civics, which is very important. I want my son to understand what's happening in the world and in politics and everything. And but anyway, the point is that there's certain things, and I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but there are certain things that I'm like, wow, Christian, you didn't know this and you didn't know that, and I'm very surprised. So I've been able to teach him certain things that school doesn't teach, and they're not going to teach. All right, but it's very, very important that you guys literally. I know that there's a lot of fear involved in this. Nobody understands more than I do that there's a lot of fear involved in what they do, because they cause you to be fearful. Okay, they do everything under threat. And so what more did we need to do than to put a stop to what they've been doing? So like I said, tomorrow we're going to go over the whole prosecution process. We were doing a bunch of criminal affidavits with regards to these fake judges, and I need to go through my database to find the countless families that have filled that out. But we're going to be going forward with that to actual prosecute. So this year's very different. The first 2 years of citizens arrest, like I said, was to arrest the economy. We were not purchasing gas. We were not spending money. We were not, shopping online or getting groceries. That was just to get attention. Okay, now we're actually going to arrest the judges, and there's citizens arrest, and there's and that's what we're doing. We want these judges arrested, prosecuted, and arrested. I know that there's just so much, like I said, so much deception, so much that people have been told, so much that has been such nothing but short of lies. But in the state of New York right now, it's very, very dangerous to live here. Very dangerous. For the first time in my life, I have to say, for the past probably, 4 years, I felt uncomfortable with certain things and fearful and so on. But this is the worst I've seen the state of New York ever. And it is very sad. It is very scary. that this is going on. But obviously this is happening everywhere. I mean, I know how bad some states are, just so bad, like Arizona, West Virginia. I mean, some states are just, it's so bad, so bad. And so tomorrow we're going to be having like that's one roundtable that I'm actually doing. But then we're actually going to be the scheduling is coming out very soon for the roundtable with the New York State Assembly. Okay, because I'm not going to let them get away with this. They're just not going to get away with this. Okay, we do not want the Family First Act of 500. Did you see $550 million for the Family First Act, so they can control your family, so they can appease you and say in a pretty wrapping paper, oh well, we'll keep the children in your family. Do you understand that the stress and the trauma alone of ripping the children away from you in the first place, while they plan on which family member is going to get them, and then all the money involved in this, and it's in the trillions of dollars. They're just moving it around. It's just to appease you because we're all complaining. Okay, we're all complaining, and they got to make it have a semblance of things looking like a real court, looking like they're really trying to protect children. And we know that none of this is true, because children get abused every single day in unprecedented numbers through the system. Okay, and in the rare cases where the families are actually the abusers, they leave those children in those homes. Okay, so they can't play these games with me, because I've seen it all. I understand exactly what's going on. I would consider myself an expert on steroids, okay, when I know exactly what's going on in this diabolical, wicked system that was never voted in by the people. So what can you guys do to continue to help me and help the other frontline advocates that are out there to expand this even bigger and more? Okay, because you see, this false media propaganda, and like I was trying to say to you guys before, this is important that you understand that Satan is an ancient foe, okay, that uses knowledge. And so when you see these propaganda articles, like the conspiracy theories are saying that is child trafficking through CPS, okay, they're using that language right now, okay, we have to fight back harder and show, look, I'm not crazy. I've never had one ever mental health problem. Okay. I've never had, I don't do drugs. I don't, whatever, what have you. And I know exactly what I'm saying. And this is not a conspiracy theory. Okay. So how can you help me do that? And let's present this by expanding our audience into different audiences that are not just family rights movers. It has to be other audiences out there who understand that they're in danger too. Because tomorrow, one of them get a divorce and they end up in one of these fraudulent family courts, and then their children are endangered. And then they go, oh my gosh, that woman was right. Oh my gosh, David Jose was 100% correct in what he was saying. Gosh, Sandra RN, she hit the nail on the head. Oh my goodness, Evelyn, she just said, that's exactly right. I remember when she said this was happening. I remember when Joe Britt was on and he said, this is happening. I remember when Robert Slavin said that. I didn't believe him, but oh my God, now I'm living it, right? So we need to expand the audience even bigger to say, don't listen to the fake media, because they're doing a narrative. They've been doing a narrative, and they're ancient foes. They're a part of that system that is here because they're making, you talk about the love of money is the root of evil, and everybody has twisted that for so long. It's actually the lust of money. And it's not, you need money to live, obviously, in this world. I don't believe in the system. I don't, in any way, shape, or form. But the point is that, the root of that evil is the fact that they're using the back of elderly, your families, your children, everything you work for, your life. We're supposed to be here enjoying life. We're supposed to be here being a blessing to people, prospering in many different kinds of ways. And yet all of us are in constant fright and flight mode. All we're trying to do is protect our families every single day. This is no way for families to be living in this country. And a system that, I look at it and I sit back, and if you sat back, sometimes it might seem crazy when you hear somebody say, oh, but we can't do that, or oh, we can't do this. Well, listen, how do you think there are world changers, frontline world changers that change things? That's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to change, but this norm isn't working. First we have a president, and we have governors, and we have senators, and we have legislators, and we have, this and that and the other. And I want to know, really, at the end of the day, what are they doing? They're causing divisions. There are extremists out there. There are, obviously. We know that there are terrorists in different places, but not everybody's a terrorist in different countries. I mean, there are people in Iran that you would be best friends with if they were here and we were hanging out together. I have Muslim friends that are the sweetest, kindest people. Okay? They've put black against white, mother against father, religion against religion. Why do they do that? Okay? There is such deception. That's why I said, and a lot of this deception happened. I was in such churches since a little girl, and I was deceived through these churches by well-meaning people who really love God, right? And so have you been, because you're not understanding what's really going on in this world, because we've been programmed to believe things that are not true. And I understand so clearly why a few years ago, God, I felt like, said, come out of these churches. Come out of this system. Come out of that, and come out of this, and come out of that, and start to see what's really going on. Because if you're constantly programmed to believe something, you're going to believe it just because it's always around you. Okay? You could take the tap water without anybody telling you anything ever and not understand that it could be filled of nitrates and toxoids and all kinds of poisons in your water, and you're thinking, water's good for me, I'm supposed to drink 9 glasses a day, I'm drinking it, and you're drinking poison every day. But it's good for me, I've been told it's good for me, I gotta drink it. And then you find out that you should be drinking something that's healthy for you, right? Pure, clean. Okay, now I can drink my 9 glasses a day, and I'm drinking something that's actually truthfully healthy for me. Meanwhile, I've been drinking fluoride. I didn't know. It's killing me. Oh my goodness. Why did that person was such a health nut and they died? Well, because you did not get informed. It's the same thing with what's happening in the schools. Kids are being programmed. Propaganda, lies, deception. In the churches, propaganda, lies, deception. You're told to believe something. Oh, God told me, God told me I was supposed to adopt because we're adopted into the house of the Lord. So we have to adopt. No, God never said that. He never said to take other people's biological blood children and put them under your roof. He never said that. But your church pastor told you that that's what we're supposed to be doing. You're saving a child right now. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're holding hands with the devil right now. And you know what? Some people may have been led by God to protect children from the system. I'm not saying, you got to listen. Every day is a different thumbprint. Every case is a little different. You may have to, okay? But I tell people all the time when they come to me, I've had people coming to me, I want to adopt this little boy. Really? Do you know what happened? Where's his mother and father? Well, they told me. I don't care what they told you. Where's his mother and father? Oh, they told you that the mother, I can't even begin to tell you. They told the father's dead and the mother's a drug. Really? Is she a drug addict? Let's go find out. Let's go find her. Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to find out if this little boy's mother's really a drug addict. Oh, okay. And then we come to find out this woman never did a drug in her life. But that little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy, he's highly adoptable. So they made up a false narrative. And they falsified records. And you don't think it can happen? It's been happening every day. It happens. It's been happening for decades. This is exactly happening, okay? This is what's adoptable, what's not adoptable. Well, this child is disabled. Well, he's worth a lot of money because he's disabled to this fraudulent system, okay? Now they heard us say we want to keep him in biological families. Of course we do, but not through you. We don't want to give you $550 million of our money, so we can never trust you again because your whole system has started out, wrong. I don't see like family court judges repenting on their knees. When I see family court judges repenting on their knees, then I might start to say, oh, there's been some change there, but I don't see that happening. I don't see them actually, changing who they are. When a person really is an abuser, which there are multiple, and when a person, really harms people, these family court judges give children to them and restrain the protective parent. Normal people don't do that. I've said it over and over again. A normal, decent human being won't do that. You're not giving equal justice or equal law when you're doing that, because you know what? The bottom line is this: not everybody is created equally. Okay, I might have said a bombshell right there. But if you're abusing someone or you're molesting a child, why should you have the equal protections that a person that's innocent, that would never do that, that would protect that child with their own body? Why would you get equal protection? That doesn't make sense. You should be behind bars and maybe get some kind of, what do you call that? Like, rehabilitation. Okay? And then you could be created equal, but you're obviously not equal if you're having sex with a child by force. Where's your equal rights in that? Come on, people. I mean, seriously, what are we thinking? This is an archaic system. Okay, voting is an archaic system. Voting doesn't work because you're not, okay, that politician has $5 billion to invest in becoming your politician, and then the good person that isn't a politician but would really make changes in this world, really make changes in your state, really do something that protects the people that should be protected, they don't have enough money to become a politician, so we're going to vote for the sucker that, we're going to vote for the one that gets the most attention? That's not a voting system. That's a bunch of nonsense. But we're still doing this in the 21st century, and we're supposed to be smarter than we've ever been. Like, this is concerning to me. It's very alarming to me. And the fact that we have media that doesn't take true stories, we have media that tells you whatever they want to tell you. If they want a vaccination, suddenly everybody's got the measles. All of a sudden, everybody's got the measles. If they want a vaccination and they want to start pushing Ebola, all of a sudden now, we're gonna have an Ebola outbreak, and now we're gonna have an Ebola vaccination, and we're gonna stick that inside your kids. And then you got these morons out there, because I see this every day too. And we got these morons out there. They don't care. They know vaccinations hurt kids. Okay, most of them know it. But they're going to use it in a family court. They don't care about that child. They care about winning. They're an abuser to begin with. They care about control. This has been proven. So they're going to use that now against the innocent families. And Cuomo right now is starting with detention centers in the state of New York. Okay, this is stuff you read about in science fiction movies or the Left Behind series. He's actually doing it. This demon, which is going to start, let me tell you, I'm going to be in his face very, very soon. I'm going to be up in his face because I don't understand why. I never wanted to be governor of the state of New York. That wasn't my dream, but I felt very, very strongly to try to run for that office because I felt like I was supposed to protect the people and knew how to fix this mess. I know how to fix this disgusting mess. And now ever since he's been back in this time, he has caused so much damage to so many families and children. And if you contact him about abuse and things like that, he sends you to his best friend, CPS. That's what he'll send you for CPS. And CPS isn't going to protect your kids. CPS never has protected a child. CPS will not protect children. CPS endangers their lives every day. Okay? So, guys, I think it's really, really important that everybody that's watching this right now, join us tomorrow. Probably I'm not going to be live till about 2:45 because I know that everybody, when they get together, I like to have everybody there that we're going to have there. We should have people representing the New York State Constitutional Party. I'm going to be doing, they've asked me to do a lot of things for them, and I'm going to start preparing to do more for them under the New York State Constitutional Party, meaning, those that believe in the Constitution. We're constitutionalists, so to speak. But I'm not really any party, okay? I don't believe in any of it. I don't. If you really want to know the truth, I don't agree with all the stuff that goes against the president, but I don't agree with everything that he's doing by any means, because I believe that there's so much deception. And I can only, by the grace of God, ask God to show us what's truth and what's not, because we're living in a time where you cannot tell, that it's all gray. We don't know what's really happening. What would happen? What would happen? And maybe this is naive to say, but what would happen if we just stopped fighting all other nations, if all nations just stopped fighting with each other and we actually respected people as human beings all over the country, all over the globe? What if we started just respecting one another and treating people with respect? Because, let's face it, you've got, women, men, and children everywhere. I'm not saying people who are actual terrorists, of course. But as far as I'm concerned, inside my country, inside the borders here, the worst terrorists I've ever seen that show up at your door is what happens within the family court. I've never seen so many children endangered and destroyed in my life, and I'm young, that I've seen through the family court system. I've never seen anything like it. I've read about stuff in history. I know about what happened with Hitler. I see the divisions and the harm. I see the deception against the Jewish people. I'm kind of amazed at the people that are now attacking Jewish people. If you're a Christian and you don't want to protect Jewish people, and Jesus was Jewish, what Bible are you reading? Like, seriously, I don't understand that. I won't understand that. And I see people who claim to be Christians now and attacking the Jewish people. I'm like, wait a minute. What did you miss? The whole book is written in Hebrew. The whole Old and New Covenant. Like, really, guys, like, come on. And, you know, that doesn't mean that we're supposed to hate people of other religions either. Get to know people on a personal level and find out what's really in their hearts, you know, because not every religion has 100%, you know, terrorists in it either. And I can tell you that. I can vouch for people. And if we got to know each other and we started to communicate and stop believing their narratives, you'd start to see that we could help each other in a lot of ways. Think about it, okay? If you don't think that the family court goes after Muslim people, you're crazy. And these people are obviously not terrorists, or the family court would have been wiped off the face of the earth by now. And they're going after them too, okay? That might be a little heavy to hear right now, but it's the truth. I see it every day, okay? But like I've said to you, this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road right now. Anybody that's good at writing, anybody that wants to help me right now with the criminal complaints, I need your help right now, okay? That's what I need the most help with right now, to prosecute the family court administrators. They're not really judges. I want to start with them. Now, we can start with the New York ones. We have the list ready to go, and then we want to have everybody in the other states follow through with that and go after them and demand that they're prosecuted. We're the boss. Guys, if you don't take your rightful place now, you never will. We are the rightful heir. We are the rightful heir to Congress. We are the rightful heir to all of this, okay? We have to put the legislators on notice too, that, like, in other words, if they put them in positions of power, let me see if David Jose, did you just say something? If they put them in power, they have the right to take them out by us. They, not the right. They have to do it. They have to do it. Period. They have to do it. So I'm not going to say too much more here. I do want to say that there is, like, I think 18 militia that has already signed up for this right now. I'm going to say that much. It's as much as I'm going to put out here right now. Okay, because I'll get banned probably right after this. So you might not be able to hear from me tomorrow. Okay, but we're moving. Okay, guys, we're moving. And like I said, again, I'm going to put it out there. Share this with everybody you know, because anybody that came to me and you have actually something that I actually believe in and you don't respond, you just hurt a lot of families. And I'm a little bit pissed off about that right now, because don't say you're going to do something. I do want the frontline advocates, Trisha, Evelyn, David Jose, Sandra, obviously Robert and myself. Who else? If I forget your names, please forgive me. But I want the frontline advocates, the frontliners. I want you guys a part of this, so you can rock your states right now. But we need to do this for our kids. We need to do this for our children. We need to do this for you and me. We need to do this for our homes. We need to do this for our protections and our safeties. And if there's anybody watching right now that you are opposing us for one reason or another, I'm going to say this to you right now too. All right, my dog. I'm going to say this to you right now. If you're opposing us, you're watching though. You're watching. So if there's anything in you that may have some humanness left inside of you, you know that what I'm saying is true. You know in your heart of hearts that what I'm saying is true. You know, all I can say to you is this: get the hell out of family court. Because I'm going to tell you, I've said this in my past few videos, and I just speak this by faith. But I'm telling you, like, there's no question that the Bible says that you reap what you sow. It says, whatsoever a man sows, he shall surely reap. And he also says, do not be deceived. God is not mock. God is not mock. What does that mean? That means that, like, you keep doing bad. He's got grace and mercy for you. He's got more than I do. But I know that I know, because I see the children that have been harmed and the families that have been harmed through this system. When you keep going to a family court, it is the child trafficking industry doorway. And you know that what I'm saying is true. Okay, pray about it, especially if you pretend to be a Christian. You keep going there. I'm not professing this on you, but the Bible's very clear. You have put yourself under a curse. What does that mean? Well, that means that you're literally putting you and your own children under a curse, because beyond what we do in this life, in the physical realm, in the natural realm, how do I put it, that's manifested before you. You know, all religions understand this. The law of attraction understands this. The laws, like the physics and, you know, all that stuff. Like it's very real. Science proves it. Science now has merged with religion, faith, because they can't discredit this any longer. You know, you can't call it, you know, whatever you want to, okay? I laugh at these people because I see these judges and these mocking attorneys get all arrogant over people of faith, but then they go to church because they want to show face. Like, you talk about, you hypocrite. But when I talk, I'm not going to mince my words, and I'm just going to tell you, like, the Bible is very clear. You put yourself under a curse. You put yourself under a curse, and if you keep mocking God's people like this, you are in dangerous ground, because our lives are like this. And before you know it, you're in the judgment seat. You know, you're right before him. And you don't have him to protect you in that time. You're in trouble, okay? And if you want to be a hypocrite and say that you have, you know, that you are a Christian or whatever you want to call yourself, and yet you still keep going to court when the Bible's so clear that he says, don't go. Do not take your brother to court. He says it over and over. You're putting yourself under a curse. You are putting you. You're not putting that person, because God's going to give that person that you keep victimizing more favor. He's going to give that person more protection. Okay, they may suffer for a time, but they're not going to suffer forever. But you will. So I'm just going to tell you that I feel very strong to just say that, because I feel like there's a few people watching right now that God wants to speak to directly. And you have a chance to, like, snap out of it. Wake up. Okay, you are not defending your children. You are not protecting your children. You are harming them. If you're going to force vaccinations into your kids, you're not harming just them. You're a part of the problem. And this is family and child trafficking and elder trafficking. And that's what this is. And so, again, we are pushing forward, but I'm not worried. I'm personally not worried. Okay, because nobody can do a thing to me. Nobody can do a thing to me that they're not going to answer to. You're not going to answer for. I guarantee it. And that goes for a lot of people, okay, at the end of the day. But for your sake, you better snap out of it quickly. Quickly. You don't even have to admit it to anybody. Just wake up fast. Because believe me, I just know that little by little, God will start removing any kind of protection he has on you, and you'll start to see it. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give that too much. I think you know who I am. I think you know who you are, who that was for. Okay? There's a time right now that we're living in that God's favor will be bestowed and is bestowed on those with a pure heart and clean hands. I'm not saying perfect, but a pure heart and clean hands. And the Bible says, woe to them, and woe means curse. Cursed are them who continue to attack his people, that do his people harm. Very dangerous place to be. Very dangerous place to be. If you wonder why we keep coming out on top, keep attacking us. Keep attacking us. Keep going after us. If you wonder why we keep going up on top, why we keep ending up on top, it's not by anything I do in the natural. It's because of my faith in Christ, period. And that goes for anybody else that's one of the frontline advocates. It's the same reason. You do not want to mess with that. And I'm not saying that for me. You do not want to mess with that. That's not smart. And I'm saying that for your own sake. Okay? But anyway, okay, I kind of went a little bit off, but I felt very strong to say that. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, I'll be live prior on 2:45. We're going to be prosecuting these judges, going forth full blast forward. Share this video like crazy. I will get this video over onto YouTube, premiere it very shortly over there on the YouTube channel. If you want to get on that YouTube channel, it's Punish the number 4 Protecting. Somewhere on my Facebook page, I started a petition to Congress. Listen, I don't expect much to happen to that, but I definitely want you guys to spread it, because the importance of it is the public awareness, okay? Before Congress, they can't say that we didn't put them on notice that way as well. But the important thing to know is that the more numbers we get on that, the better, and the more informative we can be for others, okay? Because there are people that still don't understand what's happening to them. And you know what? It's going to be really scary for them when their door is broken down and they have no way to protect themselves, all right? So it's very important. And also, I'm going to get everybody in New York to be pounding at the New York State Assembly. That roundtable needs to happen like within the next week, okay? I'm expecting that to happen, to move that forward, because I'm telling you right now, New York State, I will not tolerate your baloney. You will not be in charge of these families. If there's real crimes, if there's real child abuse, it needs to be handled the right way, not through family court, not through CPS, not through any of that stuff, because it's all bogus. All right, I'll go back and read through your comments right now. Thank you guys for watching. Spread the word, very important, and God bless each and every one of you.